This is going to be easy. You've already done a podcast before with us. You're our first reoccurring guest. Look at you making history during Women's History Month.
Don't talk about that.
You're our first reoccurring guest.
Am I really?
Yes, you are. And you didn't have this astronomical title last time, did you?
I know. I mean, Gigi, come on, stop adding words.
I was last time I was an administrator.
Yeah.
I was the community development and grants administrator.
This time you're the director.
Yes.
Of community development and grants administration.
Yeah.
I have diminished lung capacity right now. I'm sick. I can't get all that out.
At least it's not bad as Joe Tumbleson's.
True. Joe has
He's
a long
emergency management coordinator, Homeland Security director.
I think we just said one.
Look at you. Good job.
Hired.
You can have this.
Are we ready?
Yep, we're
Are we ready?
Ready. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Texas City Tales. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Ramari.
And today we're here with Titilio Smith. She's our city's Director of Community Development and Grants Administration. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Our first recurring guest.
That's right.
Well, it's lovely to be here this April.
Yeah. So April is Fair Housing Month.
Yes.
And it's also Community Development Week.
Yes, this week from the 1st to the 5th is Community Development Week.
What does that mean?
That means that we highlight the community development program and what we've been able to do specifically with funding from HUD, the Community Development Block Grant, how we have affected the lives of Texas City residents, and the fact that we could use more funding as well.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we're going to need more than a week to highlight all that. Y'all got a lot going on.
We're trying.
Well, let's start off with some of the goals or initiatives that stemmed from Community Matters 2030.
Yes. So Community Matters 2030 kind of hits us from multiple areas. We're community revitalization and beautification, as well as housing, and we're also kind of smattered in there and in some other areas as well. But our main focus has been housing, making sure that our most vulnerable are living in safe, secure, and affordable housing. And that has led us to help primarily our elderly and disabled to have homes that are not, what do I want to say, not laying or sitting ducks for the next disaster. Mm-hmm. So when the next disaster comes, we want them to be safe. Mm-hmm. We want them to not be worried about their roof falling in or not having heating if it's a freeze or something like that. So with our housing rehabilitation program, we provide up to $25,000 to address those issues, to mitigate those issues before they are really a problem for those vulnerable residents. And we also do housing reconstruction for those homes that are just beyond repair. Mm-hmm. Like we go and inspect them and they're so bad that we can't put enough money in that makes sense. Mm-hmm. In order for them to be stable, so we demolish them and rebuild them. And yes, unfortunately, there are more houses in need than we have funding for.
Yeah. You know, I never really considered, I always thought, when I thought about the housing projects that you do, more about like quality of life, improvements. I didn't really ever think about it from a safety perspective. That's so true. I mean, we get all kinds of, fun little surprises around here in this area. And so that's such an important thing.
Yes. Especially when most of the times those homeowners are elderly or disabled. So they really don't have the capacity to prepare themselves. They need our help. And I think that that's where the city comes in to help those residents who are the most in need, most vulnerable. So then overall, our residents have a better quality of life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's an incredible two incredible programs.
Yes.
So I know that's just two of many. I know y'all have the first-time homebuyers program up and running again and thriving. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We provide up to $7,500 for low to mod income Texas City residents to purchase their first homes. So they have to be under 80% of the area median income as far as their household income. And we can pay up to half of their down payment assistance. And if there's any funds left over of the $7,500, we can apply those towards eligible closing costs. So say, for instance, their down payment is $15,000, then half of it would be $7,500, then that would be it. But if their down payment is $10,000, half of that is $5,000, so then we still have $2,500 that we can put towards eligible closing costs. So, we are hoping that we can help recent college graduates, newlyweds, people who want to come back to Texas City or make Texas City their home. They actually have to be living here for 12 months, maybe renting, but that could be an incentive for them to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you're buying, especially your first house, I think it kind of sneaks up on you, all those, you get in there to sign the papers, and it's like, oh my goodness, look how many lines that is of charges that you didn't really think about.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's like a breath of fresh air, I'm sure.
Yes, and that can be stacked with other funding as well. You cannot receive assistance from another resource to cover the same expenses that we're covering, but you can get other resources to kind of add together to address all of your fees and initial down payment and all of that. So we can really assist some people and help them to coordinate those resources as well.
Wow.
You ready to go buy a house?
Not yet. Not yet. But it's good to know that that resource is available.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a little bit of a hidden gem, too. I think we've been pushing a little bit harder on it lately just so people know that that's a service there and available to them.
Yes. A lot of people have not known about it. And since we brought on our new wonderful program coordinator, Ms. Patricia Mata, she has been marketing the program, doing trainings for local realtors and lenders. And, we're really trying to identify ways that we can bring in more people who are eligible, because the catch becomes people who are low to moderate income that can qualify for a mortgage. And so sometimes we're going to have to work with people, with families, for some time before they get to the point where they can purchase. We have to make sure that they are prepared. They have to go through a housing counseling course that's HUD approved, which actually tells them how to build their credit and, what to be aware of, what questions to ask. And so we want people, we don't want to just give them money. We want to have them really prepared to go into this next stage of their life and be successful.
Right.
So the counseling is key so that they can be long-term homeowners.
And understand. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a big purchase.
It
Yes.
is.
There's a lot of paperwork that you sign.
A lot.
So.
And I think there's so many things kind of, again, we're talking about closing costs, but just in general that you don't necessarily know to expect, that you're going to have to think about and plan for. So
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So by way of beautification, because I know that's something that was listed in Community Matters.
Yes.
What do
And
you guys-
revitalization. So revitalization is the big thing.
Okay.
This year, we have identified 2 target areas in the city, the 2 lowest income areas, so that we can revitalize them. One area is the 1867 Settlement Historic District. The other area is what we are calling the Greater Chelsea Manor area, just for the purposes of this program. So many people are familiar with the Chelsea Manor area, but for this program, we want to take the revitalization all the way up to Bay Street. So the boundaries are from 14th Street to Bay and from 9th Avenue to Texas Avenue. Okay. For the 1867 Settlement District, we're going from westward to Highway 3 and then from Texas Avenue to Anderson Street. And within both of those footprints, we are targeting our housing rehabilitation dollars, our first-time homebuyer dollars. And for the 1867 Settlement District, we have created the Commercial Improvement Program to address the exterior improvements that are needed for those businesses that are on Texas Avenue, also known as FM 1765. Mm-hmm. So we will be doing up to $5,000 worth of repair for businesses along that corridor, which include painting, awning, signage, to be consistent. We actually even have a color palette, and I wanted to show, but I don't know if I can actually get all of the colors to show. But they are very similar to the 6th Street color palette, but somewhat a little bit more vibrant.
Mm-hmm. Some pinks and some greens.
Yes. So the business owners, we had an information session for the business owners a couple of weeks ago, and we gave them options of Victorian era colors and asked them to choose 1 through 5, and these are the colors that won, which was really interesting because when we looked at them, we said, these are the same colors as the 6th Street, but, just a different shades. So it's good to see that the city is unified while also identifying the individuality of different neighborhoods. Yes.
That is very interesting. I love that. So I know we're talking about like revitalization. One thing that you guys do a lot of are the community cleanups, which kind of help beautify all different parts of the city.
Yes.
And we have one coming up.
We do have one coming up under Keep Texas City Beautiful. We have our annual Great American Cleanup coming up on FM 1765, which is in the Settlement District, where we partner with Keep Marque Beautiful. 1765 is actually Texas City on one side of the street and Marque on the other side of the street. And so we said, well, we should work together so that the whole street looks good all at the same time. And it's been a pleasure partnering with them to do this. We go from Highway 3 to I-45, cleaning up litter, large brush, and just making sure that the people in that community know that we care, that we're looking, and that we will work with them, and we need them to work with us to make sure that the community stays beautiful.
Yeah, that's a partnership all the way around.
It is.
Yeah. So if someone is interested in helping with the cleanup, I know I have a teenager who's always looking for, those hours for different things. How can they sign up, and who can sign up?
Okay, so the cleanup is on May 11th. And we have the volunteer sign up on our website. So people can go to texascitytx.gov under community development to neighborhood cleanup, Keep Texas City Beautiful, and they will be able to sign up. We are looking for organizations, individuals, children under the age of 16, I believe, have to be accompanied by an adult. Mm-hmm. But, we all hands on deck, and if you have community service hours that need to be met, this is an excellent opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Especially because there aren't always a ton of volunteer opportunities for kids, like you were saying. So
yes.
It's really good. It really is like everybody coming together.
Yes.
And, I was proposing that we had like the Marque football team and the Texas City football team, and let's get that friendly rivalry.
We actually did the first cleanup we did at Carver Park, And that one we had over 80 volunteers, and we did have the Marque football team and the Texas City football team and the, I want to say, Marque Student Council maybe. So we're hoping that we are going to continue to get them. I know for the last year's cleanup, we did have the Texas City football team. I'm not sure if the Marque football team showed up, but maybe we can send this challenge out. Yeah. Marque football, where are you? Make sure that you sign up. But we do follow up with the previous volunteers to let them know that there's a new opportunity available, and let them know how to sign up so that they can continue to come back.
Perfect.
You guys have been busy.
Just a little. Also, in terms of beautification, we are going to start doing curb numbers. And that's an initiative by Mayor Johnson to make sure that emergency responders can identify houses when they're called to come out, especially in the night. Houses don't always have their house numbers visible, so the city is going to either paint or get stickers to do the curb numbers throughout the city. We will start with the target areas. So right now we're trying to identify which will be better. Would it be the sticker or would it be the paint? Once we come to a conclusion on that, we will start doing that. And they will also have the Phoenix as well as the numbers. So that's going to be a little snazzy. And we're working on what to do for properties that have no curb. But yes, we definitely want to improve the response time for emergency responders. And that will also improve the looks of the area. We also are looking to do more streetscaping and landscaping in the target areas. The Bell House will be getting new decorative street lamps. Texas Avenue, we hope, will also be getting new decorative street lamps and other streetscaping. So we're in conversations to identify what is actually possible. We are working with Parks and Rec to do new wayfinding signs, new district markers, all of that. So, you know, we will be working on the revitalizations for the next 5 to 7 years, which we hope will include not just the rehabilitation or improvement of existing businesses, but developing by bringing in new businesses, having new commercial properties built along the FM 1765 corridor, making the settlement district a tourist destination. And so we have a lot of work ahead of us, and we're preparing for that.
I almost feel guilty asking this next question. Is there anything else?
Let me see. Let me look at my notes. Well, we have Fair Housing Month also this month. So Community Development Week is the 1st to the 5th, but the whole month of April is Fair Housing Month. And we are going to be presenting to the community our analysis of impediments to fair housing. We've been working with a consulting firm, IGC, to produce this analysis, to do the analysis and produce an action plan as to how to remove any barriers for people in the 7 protected classes to find housing in the city of Texas City. So we are currently presenting the draft of the document to the community, and we will be finalizing the document this month as well, and implementing the recommendations for that. We are also, in celebration of the month, having an art contest, and that art contest will be, let me see from my notes, from the 1st to the 19th, we will be taking submissions, and submissions will be voted on from the 22nd to the 26th on our social media.
Yep.
And on our May 1st commission meeting day, we will be announcing the winner, who will be getting a brand new Surface Pro tablet / laptop with a keyboard and a pen that has special functions for artists. So, yes,
cool.
We are very excited about that, and that is courtesy of GrantWorks.
Thank you, GrantWorks.
Yes.
Yeah. So what sorts of art will people be submitting? Like, what is the focus of it?
Well, the focus is, I guess, the 7 protected classes are sex, race, disability, color, national origin. How many is that? 5.
Religion. And what, ethnicity?
Familial status. Yes. So we want young people to think about that and to come up with art that shows these people that are in those protected classes finding the homes that they want and living in the homes that they want and being happy. We want to get the young people to start thinking about that at this age so that when they are adults and they are either landlords or renters or owners, they keep in mind the fair housing laws and they know what to do if they are discriminated against and what not to do if they are a landlord.
Yeah, I mean, I think kids are not even just for the future generation impacting it, but currently too, because I know whenever my little ones learn about something at school, then suddenly it's carried over at home too.
Yes.
Like, did you brush your teeth for the whole 2 minutes? Like, did you have a timer?
Right.
So, I mean, I think
especially when they get to you, Mommy, did you brush your teeth for the whole 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Miss So-and-so said you do 2 minutes.
Yes.
Yes, it's really good.
They start making the change same day, I think.
Yes, it's very good. So we want to include them in these conversations.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This is good information.
So good.
And anyone that's wondering where they can find a lot of this info, the Community Matter books are available at the Moore Memorial Library for temporary checkout. Just FYI. And they're on the city's website.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're so beautiful. The communications team did such a great job with that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, they're really, really beautiful.
Well, your goals sound amazing. It sounds like you guys have made not only a lot of progress already, but that you have a clear plan of how to attack everything before you.
Well, we wanted to make sure that we got a full picture of what was going on because when I was fortunate enough to come on board with the city in 2021, the city was just coming out of COVID. So there were absolutely no community development activities at all for probably 6 months or so prior to my arrival. So, it was a good and a bad thing because it allowed us to take the time to really look at what the needs are in the city and try to find solutions to address those needs and figure out what the priorities were, what we should attack first and, what we're putting in the parking lot. So there's definitely much more than we can ever accomplish immediately, but at least we have a to-do list and we can garner support and funding. We're primarily funded, again, through HUD with the Community Development Block Grant, but we have been fortunate enough to have funds from the ARP, the American Rescue Plan. Mayor Johnson allocated $1.5 million towards community development out of the $10 million that the city received, and that money went towards emergency rental assistance as well as housing rehabilitation reconstruction. But we're looking to leverage what we have to get additional funding because revitalization of 2 areas will definitely not be covered by our CDBG allocation. But when other funders see that we have plans, that we have some skin in the game, that we've started the work and we put some investment in as a city, they're more likely to give us additional funding to complete the projects. So that's our strategy right now, and we're trying to be very methodical so that we can maximize the potential of what these 2 target areas can come out looking like.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see them.
I can't wait either. I'm so excited. And the community is excited.
Yeah.
We had, like I said, community meetings in the settlement district a couple of weeks back, and the people that showed up were just so excited to receive the letters saying, come out and hear what we're doing in your neighborhood. People volunteered to participate, to give information. And, the settlement district is a very historical part of Texas City, but has not been given the attention that it may have needed over the years. And we have descendants of the founders that still live in the area, and they are very worried that they were going to pass on and nobody was going to carry on with making sure that that area was revitalized, making sure that that area was kept in the history books and that people knew about it. The district is actually a part of the Emancipation Trail, and I believe that goes from Galveston and goes on up. And when people come to Texas City, we want them to have something to see. Mm-hmm. So, we want to definitely make that area a place that not only will the residents enjoy living, but also people will come not just from Texas, but nationwide to see what these wonderful people did in 1867. And it's just really amazing that this part of American history is right here with us. Mm-hmm. So it's not just about reading in the books. We can actually see it and touch it and feel it, and that's wonderful.
It is.
Oh, man.
I know. Titi's going to change the city one area at a time.
One area at a time, right. Once we finish with these 2 areas, we'll move on to the next. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Again, this is Ms. Titileo Smith. She is our Director of Community Development and Grants Administration. Thank you to the City of Texas City for sponsoring this podcast. You can watch new episodes on Wednesdays on the city's Facebook page, YouTube, or wherever podcasts are streamed. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Did she tell you I was addicted to Timu?
Mm-mm.
The orange bag. Crack. Guys, hit the...
They just have so many things to choose from, and there's such good prices.
No, Temu and Shein have hit like the women community harder than crack in the 80s. Do you hear me?